Hey, it's me, Sab Henny, aka Sabrina, aka Sab Henny. And oh gosh, I feel like I'm talking so quiet. So I'm here. Well, it's because I'm a little out of my element. Um, I am gonna tell. I don't want to say I'm doing a story time. Oh my gosh, I'm here to just tell a story, because I was actually looking back on like some of my like older videos, from like a month ago or whatever. And like I had mentioned my ghost. Well, I say ghost, but I mean, I believe it. And I'm sure a lot of people in the world believe in ghosts and like all that. Oh my gosh, my eyes are watering. Ugh. Okay. I have this toilet paper because my eyes are going wild. My allergies. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Yeah, so I have a ghost experience that I want to talk about. And I feel like... Okay, well, let me just tell the story. Let me just tell the story. So, it's a really, really short story, but I guess I'll just start telling it. So, as I said in that video, my ghost is Paul McCartney, or at least that's how the ghost showed himself. And here is why. So, I'm sure a lot of you know about the conspiracy theory, the Paul is dead conspiracy theory. And basically, and this is no disrespect to Paul McCartney. I mean, I know that, the Paul McCartney we have today, he, has said before that it's not true and all that. So, this is not me saying that this is proof of the conspiracy. I mean, who am I to say? But this is just my honest truth experience. So, but yeah, anyways. And again, I'm just saying this is how the ghost showed itself. I mean, it could be Paul McCartney's ghost. I've always called the ghost Paul from that moment on, because the ghost has shown itself other times in my life. But anyways, like after this point. But anyways, so let me just tell the story. So, okay, this was back when I lived in Oregon, back in, like, my older videos you would see, like, when I used to do makeup videos. That was when I lived in Oregon. And there was a night where my mom and my little brother had been, they had been staying, well, yeah, they wanted to, like, see how Oregon was, see if they wanted to move there themselves. So they were staying with me and my boyfriend at the time. They're staying with me and my boyfriend at the time. And we were sitting in the room, I don't know, it was nighttime, and we were all sitting on the bed talking about, I don't know, whatever. And then for some reason or another, I brought up the conspiracy. I don't know, maybe we were talking about like scary stuff. And I love conspiracy theories, like the Mandela effect and stuff like that. Like, I love stuff like that anyways. And even though I'm easily creeped out, me and my brother love creeping each other out, because we get so easily, I don't know, it's funny. So, anyways, I'm like so scared of listening to my teeth now. So, we were all talking about creepy stuff, creepy conspiracy theories, the one about freaking, what is that show called? Rugrats. We were talking about like all the crazy SpongeBob ones. Like, we were just going through conspiracy theories. And then I brought up the Paul is dead conspiracy theory, and I was just like going through, I don't know, just talking about all the different stuff about it. And so mind you, it's me and my boyfriend at the time, and then my brother, and then I don't know if it was like this positioning, but we were sitting in like, like a circle on the bed, like literally telling ghost stories almost, or telling like scared, I'm saying like almost like we were around a campfire telling ghost stories, you know what I mean? Like, we were sitting in a circle on the bed. And so like I'm looking at them and I'm telling this story, or not this story, but I'm like telling them about the conspiracy theory. And then my phone goes off, and then I look at it and it's a text message. And none of them have touched their phone. From what I could have seen, none of them had touched their phone. They were all sitting right in front of me. My phone goes off and it's a text message. I pick it up and I unlock my phone, and it's a picture of Paul McCartney. Oh my gosh, this is like, me thinking about it right now is like giving me like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I look and it's a picture of Paul McCartney, like a young Paul McCartney. It's a black and white picture, and he's waving and he's like, oh my gosh. Oh, okay, it's like, it gives me like, oh, okay. So yeah, and he's like, wait, and he's like, that. And I was like, and I looked to my brother, because he's the jokester, he's the one that like most likely would do something like that. So I was like, Bran. And he's like, what? And I was like showing them the picture, but like, I don't know if I had been showing them pictures before on my phone, but at that moment my phone was down. Like showing them pictures, not of, well, what am I trying to say? I don't know if at that moment I had been showing them pictures of like the evidence. I probably was, but I can't remember that specifically. But at that moment my phone was down. So when I was like showing them, they just thought it was like another picture, because they didn't like react at first. So I assume that's what they thought. So he was like, what? And I was like, did you send this to me? And he was like, no. Oh my gosh, I just heard something. He was like, no. And I was like, well, and mind you, it was from like a random phone number. Like, it was a number that I didn't have saved in my phone. So yeah, so I was like, did you do it? Did you do it? He's like, no. And then I probably looked to my boyfriend at the time next, because he'd be the next one to trick me. And I was like, okay, did you? And he was like, no. Looked to my mom. I was like, did you? And she was like, no. And so that was pretty much, there's a bug right there. So that's pretty much like the whole story in a nutshell. Like, that's kind of like, nothing really happened after that moment, except for me just being like, well, what the fuck, like, who sent me this picture, like, which one, like, and just accusing all of them, and they all refused, and they all still refuse to this day that they sent the picture. And like, we put the phone number into Google, and I think we tried to call the number, and I think it was like a text, it came up when we called it to be like a text app number, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm trying to think if anything else happened that night. I don't think anything else happened that night, but that was when he first showed himself. And in preparing for this video, I tried to see if I could find that picture on Google. I typed Paul McCartney black and white pictures. I typed like young Paul McCartney black and white pictures. I typed in Paul McCartney waving, young waving black and white. And if I saw that picture, I could tell you it was the picture that was texted to me. I don't have that phone anymore, and I don't know what happened to the picture. But yeah, the closest one I could find, I'll put right here. I found one that's like kind of similar, just in like the age that he was in the picture, and it's a picture of him waving, and it's black and white. So here's the one. But the one that, I think this one, I forgot already, but I think this one I'm showing you is with another person. The one that I saw, or the one that was texted to me, was just a picture of him, like, waving. And I forgot to say he was looking, like, right into the camera in that picture. So, I'm still holding the tissue that I wiped my eye with. So yeah, that was that night, and from then on, I was like, well, Paul McCartney is definitely in the building. So, that was crazy. Because they all just denied. And, yeah. Oh, he made it. That scared the fuck out of me. So, yeah. And then other times that he has shown himself, there's been a few times where I've like, oh my gosh, my posture is horrible. There's been, like, a few other times that I've been, like, oh, there's, like, a ghost here. It must be Paul. The only other time that I can think of just off the top of my head, and this is why I feel like he left me in he left me in Oregon, or I left him in Oregon, because the day that we moved, like, back to where I am now, I was in the car, and, like, the radio kept, and I don't know, I mean, I guess well, no, I was gonna say you could contribute it to leaving the radio network, but it was when I got in the car, and we hadn't even left our town yet. You know, we were driving past stores we usually drove by, and every time I would play the radio, it would either turn off, or it would go staticky, and I would, like, have to turn it off and back on. And it had never done that before. Like, that's not something that's like, oh, the car does this, usually, and we have to fix it, like, or we have, I don't know. So, but yeah, that was, and then when we got here, like, I don't know, I can't think of any other times I've had, the only other time I feel like I've had a ghost experience was the other video where, like, my camera shut off or whatever, and I said I felt something cold. So that was the only other time here, but when I was in Oregon, I feel like I had a lot more, like, ghost-type feelings and ghost experiences, so that is my story of my ghost, Paul McCartney. Paul. Again, no disrespect to Paul McCartney. If you ever happen upon this video, I am really sorry. You know what? I love Paul McCartney so much. So that's why it was, like, so interesting too, also, because I had grown up loving, like, just, like, certain songs from him, like, you know the song, "Someone's knocking at the door, somebody ringing the bell," like that song. That's a Paul McCartney song, right? And then, like, the one he had with Michael Jackson, "The Girl Is Mine," and then, I don't know. So, I love Paul McCartney, and so if he ever, for some reason, sees this video, I'm just saying, this literally is what happened. And if it was just a ghost showing itself as you, then I'm sorry he showed himself that way. Maybe it was just the easiest way for him to do it. Because, you know what? Because it happened in that apartment, and then when I moved out of that apartment, I didn't really see him again. So maybe it was someone who just was in that apartment before. I don't know. But yeah, that is my story of Paul McCartney. Well, not of Paul McCartney. That's my story of my ghost. But, yeah, and this has been Sab Henny, Sabrina, reporting live and signing off, and wishing you very happy holidays and a happy new year.